people don't even know that they have a basic human right to be able to get access to information about themselves and their own body.
We live in a time where unprecedented new technology comes out every day. Every country in the world has its modern technological hubs. Silicon Valley, California is America's center of young, untapped potential. Nobody wants to miss out on the next big invention. Investors pour billions into young entrepreneurs. But what if the next big invention of the modern world was a fraud? What if the valley of innovation was stained with blood? This is what happened with the promising entrepreneur, Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Holmes was born on February 3, 1984, in Washington, D.C. She was born into a working-class family. Her dad, Christian, worked for the government agencies like USAID, and her mom, Noel, was a congressional committee staffer. Her family didn't stay long in the capital and moved to Houston when she was young. Holmes was an inventive child with a very intuitive mind. She tried to make her own time machine when she was just 7 years old. She created notebooks filled with details about the machines and engineer drawings. Holmes was a hard-working child. She stayed up late to study for her exams and was very focused on her studies. Unsurprisingly, Holmes was a straight A student. She also had a software business where she sold C++ compilers and took Mandarin lessons, hinting at her brilliant intellect. Holmes enrolled into Stanford to study chemical engineering and excelled in college too. She got a President's Scholarship and $3,000 to spend on a research project. Her ability to speak Mandarin also got her an internship at the Genome University in Singapore. Inspired by her great-great-great-grandfather Christian Holmes, who was a surgeon, Holmes started a company called Real-Time Cures, which was later changed to Theranos.
You founded this company 12 years ago, right? Tell them how old you were.
I was 19.
Holmes filed a patent for a wearable medical device that could analyze the patient's blood and provide medication. The following semester, she dropped out of Stanford and used her tuition money for Theranos. This is where the real thing began. Holmes had a fear of needles, and she used it as her motivation for the life-changing device. Her business model was to create a device that could run blood tests using only one finger prick.
To eliminate the tubes and tubes of blood that traditionally have to be drawn from an arm, and replaced it with the nanotainer.
Her medicine professor at Stanford shot down the idea when Holmes first pitched it to her, saying that it's never gonna work. But Holmes was a determined person and got the dean at the School of Engineering, Channing Robertson, to give her support. Holmes started raising money for the company and roamed in many prominent buyers like Larry Ellison, the founder of Oracle, the father of a childhood friend, the founder of Draper Jewelson, Tim Draper, also invested in her company. Holmes got almost $700 million for her startup. But these investments came with certain conditions. Holmes had control of everything the company did. From science to funding, she got the final say in every decision. She also worked in a very secretive way and kept everything about the device close to her chest. The young entrepreneur operated her company in stealth mode, hiding its existence from the outside world till 2013. This obsession of hers with secrecy was inspired by one of her idols, Steve Jobs. Holmes looked up to Jobs in every single way possible. She wore turtlenecks in public appearance, something Jobs was famous for doing. The businesswoman also had a no vacation policy for herself, just like Jobs. Holmes also had a very deep voice, which some said was carefully maintained to help her in a male-dominant industry.
We've made it possible to eliminate the tubes and tubes of blood.
Holmes reached stardom in 2014 after she was featured on the cover of Fortune, Forbes, and many more magazines. She was termed the youngest self-made female billionaire, worth almost $9 billion. As Theranos gained more attention, Holmes got international recognition. She was a hard worker and also encouraged her employees to work longer hours. Her partner Sunny Balwani, whom she met at Stanford, kept track of when the employees left and arrived. Security at the company was pretty tight. Guards escorted the employees everywhere, even to the bathroom. Holmes had obtained $400 million in venture capital, but her stardom soon began to dim. Questions started to develop about Theranos' technology. The chief scientist at Theranos warned Holmes that the tests were inaccurate. Competing scientists started to voice their opinions about Theranos, and by August 2015, the FDA had started an investigation into the company. Then in October 2015, Theranos received the biggest blow. Wall Street Journal reporter John Carreiro published a report about Theranos and their struggles with technology after a month-long investigation.
I came along, and the Wall Street Journal came along, and we published a story that revealed that the company was actually doing the vast majority of its blood tests on commercial analyzers purchased from third parties.
This started the downward spiral of the company. Carrero received word from the medical expert that Theranos' medical kit called Edison seemed very doubtful. The journalist then talked to the whistleblowers and obtained company documents. He discovered that the machine was inaccurate and the public testing had been done using older blood testing machines. Holmes tried to stop the journalist from publishing the article, but he persisted. To control the storm, Holmes went on CNBC's Mad Money the day Carrero published the story. She said the article was just the work of a tabloid and data will soon be released proving that her medical kit was not inaccurate.
Ms. Holmes, welcome back to Mad Money.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Elizabeth, I have to tell you, in all my years, I can't recall a private company that I have to candidly, many have never heard of, getting this kind of attention and scrutiny. What do you think's going on here?
This is what happens when you work to change things. And first they think you're crazy, then they fight you, and then all of a sudden you change the world.
By 2016, everyone was looking into Holmes and the company. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, banned Theranos from lab testing for 2 years. The SEC charged Holmes and partner Balwani with massive fraud, fining them $500,000 US and making them return 19 million Theranos shares. Holmes stayed on as the CEO of Theranos and tried to hold it together in the last few days. But the efforts were to no avail. In June 2018, Holmes stepped down as the CEO of the company. She was charged with 9 counts of wire fraud and 2 of the conspiracy by the Department of Justice alongside her now former partner Balwani. On September 5, 2018, it was announced that the company would be formally dissolved, with the remaining cash to be distributed to its creditors. Since 2020, Holmes' defense team has tried to get the case thrown out, but the efforts have not worked. The trial was originally set for July 2020, but the COVID-19 pandemic made this impossible. The trial faced multiple delays before being set for March 2021. But here, another delay was provided because Holmes was pregnant with her first child. The trial finally started in September 2021, with defense's argument being that Holmes' failure was not a crime. The trial lasted up to 11 weeks and featured 30 witnesses. Holmes admitted that she added the logos of major pharmaceutical companies to the reports to make the investors feel assured. Holmes also claimed that she was emotionally and sexually abused by Bilwani during their relationship and suffered huge trauma. The trial ended in December 2021 with mixed results from the jury. Holmes was found guilty on 3 accounts of wire fraud and 1 account of conspiracy, but she was found not guilty on 4 other counts and got a no verdict on 3 other counts. The jury only found her guilty on counts of investment and not those related to patients. Holmes now faces years in prison, as each count has a 20-year sentence. Holmes got bail after the trial and is now waiting for her sentence, which is proposed in September 2022. Her future will be decided in that fateful month. But you know what? You can decide our future at this very moment. All you need to do is press that like button, subscribe to our channel, share our videos and comment down your views. Stay curious, stay awesome. Until we meet next, World of Vogues signing off.